Hello, welcome back to GameSpot's coverage of E3 2013. God, no. I've entered a time warp. I don't know when we are. Is this 2015, 2014? I know someone who'll know. It'll be Sean Ramjagsingh from NHL. Which NHL is coming out this year?
NHL 15 is coming out.
Oh, so it's 2015?
It's 2015.
So we're 2015. Perfect. E3 2014 here. Sean, pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
NHL, this is a game that I loved on the Genesis, played a bit on PC back in the day. I spent all last night on Twitter talking to GameSpot fans about what they want out of this game. So I've got a bunch of questions from those folks, a couple for myself as well, but just give us the overview of what you guys are doing this year that was different than last year, because sports games EA, it's always an iterative process.
Yes, yeah. We were literally really excited to be on the new console for the first time with NHL 15. We literally changed everything, leveraging the power of the consoles, from brand new player models, rebuilding them from the ground up. We have brand new physics in the game, new multiplayer physics, 12 players in physics at any one time. Brand new puck physics as well, built from the ground up. Brand new NBC presentation package in our game, so what you see on TV is what you're going to see in our game this year. Brand new commentators. Our fans have been asking for new commentators for a long time now, so we have Doc Emmerich, Eddie Olczyk, and Ray Ferraro, and done in a way that's never been seen before in a sports game. And it's about bringing that arena to life as well and replicating what you see on TV and when you go to the hockey rinks, that, you know, all that detail within each one of the arenas, and over 9,000 new crowd models as well, so really focus on the atmosphere as well.
So that crowd stuff, I think, is that, do you guys work with other teams in that respect? Because I know FIFA 14 was, for Next Gen, when they released that earlier this year, that was one of those games that sort of dipped into that new crowd stuff. Do you guys work with other teams? Yeah,
that's one of the, one of the real benefits of being part of EA Sports, is we're able to, leverage everything going on around us. With FIFA and Madden and company coming out on the next generation consoles before us, we're able to take all their learning, take all their technology, bring it over to NHL. We just had UFC up here. We work very closely with the UFC team on the same floor as part of the same business unit. We share a lot of assets. A lot of the great stuff, a lot of the great visuals you see in NHL are taken from UFC, brought over and turned into hockey. So lots of sharing. It just makes, we come out every single year with the game, and we try and push and get as much stuff in there as we can every single year. So the more that we can share, the more that we can borrow, the more that we can learn from each other, the better the games are going to be for our fans.
So what's it like trying to make hockey's a pretty good game to try and make into a video game? Because let's be honest, like the moment-to-moment action is pretty entertaining. Like you can score at any stage, it seems, breakaways, and then just the physicality of that sport. What's it like trying to make a game that is a simulator but is also fun and captures that essence?
Yeah, it's a fine balance. Obviously, we want to be true to the sport as much as we can, but we got to take some liberties and understand that it is a game that we're making. We're making an entertainment product, and we always want to make authentic hockey, but people's definition of authentic is what differs. If you're a casual hockey fan, you want to have lots of goal scoring, you want to have lots of big hits, you want to have lots of fights. If you're a hardcore hockey fan, you want to see every little detail in the game, from the jerseys moving with the cloth to guys not getting knocked over all the time, to have to set up in the offensive zone or dump and chase to get the puck back, and just that level of detail, and really focusing on offensive and defensive AI. So
we're looking at the trailer you guys showed at the EA press conference on Monday as well. What were you trying to get across in this trailer?
Just what the power of Next Gen brings to our game this year, and the visuals that you see here when we talk about leveraging technology from UFC, for the dynamic cloth in there. We actually rebuilt our player model from the ground up this year. So we modeled the body, we modeled the equipment on top of that body, and then using some technology from the fashion industry, dropped the jersey over top of that. So you're seeing cloth in our game for the first time on all the players. You see some multiplayer collision physics here, some of the new pieces for gameplay. Again, in the past, our fans have loved the physics we've had in the game. This year it was about going from 2 players being in physics to all 12 players having the ability to get in physics. You're watching the playoffs right now, and there's scrambles, crazy scrambles, desperation plays going all the time, pile-ups in front of the net, pile-ups in the goal crease, and that's what we want to have in NHL 15 with the physics that we have in the game.
Well, the Kings could win the Stanley Cup on Friday, so do you guys have riot physics? Because I think that might be something we see outside the LACC in about 48 hours time.
Hopefully the Kings win. I'm a Kings fan, so hopefully the Kings win. Hopefully you don't see the riot piece, though.
It always comes up when we talk about these games. Obviously, you guys have the fighting. It's a part of hockey culture, I guess. How much did you guys work with the UFC guys on that sort of stuff?
Not too much on the fighting mechanics itself. We invested pretty heavily in NHL 14 in our fighting engine. And the thing about fighting is it's part of the sport, and there's a whole game within the game on the ice in the real NHL that goes with fighting. You want to go throw a hit on a big superstar, you can expect one of their tough guys to come over and challenge you to fight. So there's the whole code that goes with fighting, and for us, we're just trying to replicate that code in our game, and our fans love fighting, so we put the fighting in there for them.
That's crazy. How much of that sort of that pageantry do you have because whenever I watch hockey, and it's one of those sports that I certainly one of the last American sport I need to conquer. There seems to be a lot of history and pageantry, like whenever hat tricks happen, like throwing the hats on the ice. Is it the octopus that gets thrown out as well? Like, how much of that stuff do you put in the game? Where do you draw the line? Because there's so much of that like tradition to pull from.
Absolutely, yeah. This year, so we really focus on the details within each one of the arenas this year, rebuilding them from the ground up. If you go to Madison Square Gardens, you're going to see, you know, the secondary characters walking around the glass, that unique geometry they have where the seats don't come all the way down to ice level.
Oh, wow.
So really replicating each one of the arenas, and then focusing on our crowd. We have over 9,000 unique crowd models in our game. So bringing that crowd to life, we have the ability to differentiate the crowd. So if you're a Montreal Canadiens or a Toronto Maple Leafs, where the team travels really well with their fans, and it's 50-50 if you go to a Montreal game in Vancouver, for example, we can have full control of the crowd. Or if you're playing in Calgary, we can have that entire sea of red in there as well. We've got the super fans in the game. We have that away team super fan, that annoying guy that everyone hates. We've got people in the crowd taking selfies, not paying attention, reacting late to the goal being scored.
You got the banging on the walls.
We have the glass bangers in there. You have a fight break out in the corner. You'll see the glass bangers up and getting into it. So it's really, you know, just bringing out all those little details with the crowd and making that crowd a big part of the atmosphere just to bring that game to life.
Awesome. I want to get into a couple of questions that I picked up last night. And if you have any yourself at the moment, at Danny O'Dwyer on Twitter, or if you're in the GameSpot chat, do at Danny O'Dwyer on there as well. Apologies, my surname is hard to spell if you don't know it already. Darcy Palmer asked, will weather be adjustable for outdoor games? So actually, will you have outdoor games?
We got lots more. We're going to talk about modes probably the next 6 to 8 weeks as we head up towards launch. So here at E3, we're focusing mostly on gameplay and presentation.
Okay, cool.
So I got to hold that question for a
watch
couple months.
this space. All right, no worries. And also, it is a lot of people are asking this. Are you going to maintain the NHL 94 anniversary mode that you had?
Actually, we talked yesterday about that a little bit. It's going to be in the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, and then still, of the details of all the modes for the next generation console game is still to come.
That came around as well with FIFA last year. There was a bunch of stuff that just never made the cut. Has trying to get in that the re-scanning the player models, adding in that crowd stuff. Like, at what stage do you just have to say we have to leave out these features? Because with an annualized franchise, surely time is of the essence, and you have to pick and choose.
Yeah, people always ask us, well, how do you come up with new ideas every single year? You know, where do all these ideas come from? The thing is that our fans never see the ideas that hit the cutting room floor. We have limited time, resources. We have a deadline we need to hit every single year. So we need to make some tough choices really early on in the project. And what we do is we go back and we revisit those things that we cut. We say, are they still relevant? Do they still make sense? Do fans still want this based on the feedback we're getting? Listen to the fan feedback as well, see what they're asking for, so we start to build into our plans. And I feel it's our job as producers, as a design team, production team, to always think about new ways to kind of raise the bar, things that our fans aren't even thinking of that's possible, and try and deliver those experiences as well. So that's where those three things come from, the three main places that new ideas come from for our games.
Is that a challenge then when you add in any feature? Because then you're like, oh God, we have to do this one every single year. Or like, is that a worry?
I don't think it's a worry, because I think we want to get it out there and we want to make it awesome when we put it out there, and then get the feedbacks and start to tweak it. So it's usually not massive overhauls we need to make year after year if we deliver it properly the first time. And we do lots of early testing with our games these days, bring people in, get their early feedback. We have an idea, and we have an idea we think is going to meet the needs of our fans, but we don't actually know until we give it to them, get them play it, get that feedback so we can adjust it. So no longer is it let's get our ideas into the game, put it out there and see what happens and try and fix it the next year. We have people coming in early on in the process giving us feedback on it.
Cool. Got a couple more questions here. Sodafiend says, in 14, the player couldn't control the goalie. Has that mechanic changed or evolved at all in 15?
We're gonna get to a lot of the control mechanics later on as well.
All right.
Yeah. So I can tell you though, with our new our superstar deking system, it's something that we continue to improve on every single year. And this year, because we can do more, we can put more animation there. We've pretty much overhauled all the animations in our deking system. We have new stride dekes, and we have upper and lower body separation as well, which gives a whole new level of control to the players themselves, never seen before. What that means is you can be gliding, you can be turning, and you can do toe drags out of it. You can basically take the puck to places you couldn't before, get through spaces you couldn't. Just really giving you more tools as a gamer to have success in our game.
What about the new puck physics as well? I don't want to keep harping back to FIFA, but it is a touchstone I have. I remember when they brought that in, I think it was maybe 2 years ago. It really did change up it didn't feel like it was stuck to you anymore.
Yes.
How is the new puck physics going to change between 14 and 15?
Yeah, it's fundamentally changed our gameplay experience. It's really amazing. We've actually rebuilt it from the ground up. We actually have a guy who worked on the Hadron Collider in Geneva, Switzerland, where they smash particles together and create black holes. So we brought him over. We brought him over to work on our puck physics, and the results are amazing because now the puck is going places the puck hasn't gone before because it's literally just doing what physics would do. So it's going to hit the goalie. Shots are going through the goalies, squeaking through goalies. It's hitting the goalie, hitting the cloth on the goalie, then hitting that equipment that we model underneath the goalie.
Yeah.
And then based on the angle of the puck and the speed it's going, it's squeaking through places it hasn't before. And so the behavior, for fans that play our game every single year, the puck's going to be doing things you've never seen the puck do before. It's really, really amazing, from the puck's rolling and turning on the ice to just amazing goals, amazing bounces. Just everything just looks that much more realistic because of the realistic puck physics.
Excellent. Gregory Craven asks, will difficulty sliders and third jerseys be available at launch?
Difficulty sliders, yeah, definitely. That's part of the game. We want to, give our fans the ability to customize the experience as much as possible. Third jerseys, we'll talk about that later on.
You got to get those high-res scans of all your jerseys as well. Right. Is that going to be a problem then with the arenas? Because I know that was an issue with when the FIFA made the transition to next gen, was that because of the amount of detail that's required for the new arenas, that maybe the past gen version has more versions than the next gen version. Are you guys having that issue as well?
Not so much. I mean, for us, we're able to give so much more this year. I mean, we had a couple semi-generic arenas in Gen 3, and this year we were able to model out pretty much every single arena in the NHL and try and nail every detail. We have a very, very passionate development team in Vancouver who are not only developers of the game but consumers of the game. And those guys bring it every single day and just want to have every single detail correct. And when we have to kind of shut things down and say, you know what, we don't have time to squeeze that one more thing in, it's like, come on, I'll work all night to get that in.
All right.
So that's how we get to all those details.
No worries. Sean Ramjagsingh, absolute pleasure to have you here, sir. For the folks watching at home, NHL 15 for current gen, we can now say, and past gen. When is it out? When can people finally get a hold
September
of it?
9th.
September 9th. All right, sounds like you got a bit more work to do.
Absolutely.
So you can head on back.